Yes.
I don't think there's a comprehensive national strategy. I know that certain organizations have paid lobbyists on the Hill, right, to try to legalize it, but our strategy is just speaking about the profit from seed, just the seed production from the crop is like 6 to 8 times what farmers are getting from corn right now, from a profit standpoint, per acre. So just
now,
that,
are you
just that
preaching
message.
that because that's what your company is going to be, the seed from
Because
hemp,
it's the easiest to understand, it's the easiest to harvest, right? So we don't have the infrastructure to process the stock, the fiber, the herd, and the hempcrete yet. That infrastructure is in every other G7 country except for ours, right? So that infrastructure needs to be built. In the meantime, you can the low-hanging fruit of the plant is the seed. And the CBD, but CBD also requires processing. The seed doesn't require process. Like you essentially take the plant, dry it, shake the seed off, separate the seed, clean it, and you can sell the seed. You can press that seed into oil. You can do a lot of things with that seed stock, but the seed stock by itself.
How are you going to convince that hemp should be the thing that's focused on instead of what the DuPonts and the the ensconced, established big business and big money
and the plastics industry,
and the plastics industry, all that?
Because hemp is such a diversifiable product.
Yeah.
Plant. It'll spawn a lot of industries, local industries, and they'll be local because you have to have the processing right there within 100 miles radius of where you're growing it. So if you have the processing plants, these processing plants can fund the building industry to build houses. It could fund the clothing industry to build clothes. The seeds could be used for food products. And there's so many industries that can be started locally. Yeah. Plus the plant itself rejuvenates the earth. I mean, you can use it. It takes heavy metals out of the earth. They've used it at Chernobyl to bring back purify there. So and it's all the way back to the roots of the farmers. Farmers can grow this here and make probably more money growing this here and use it for a rotation crop also, just like it used to be. Because you rotate this, the crops that you're going to grow, potatoes, tomatoes, whatever, you'll get a better harvest out of those crops.
Well, I think it's starting at the grassroots movement. Like, it's nice because you can like pick your audience. So it's like we can go to all these different things instead of just saying the same thing every time. Like, we can go to like someone devoted to health and like talk about the food value, or like we can go to someone who's interested in like more of like the market and like the economy and like bring that into it. So it's like you can come in through different angles and then I think build up through different small groups, and then that will spread, and then so different small groups spreading I think will create a movement of, oh wait, I might be interested in health, but who's this over here talking about hempcrete? And be like, wait, we can all work together to create like a local like.
And it's instead of having these big gigantic companies coming in and controlling everything. It'll be individual entrepreneurs starting this, and they'll benefit, and the farmer will benefit. And that's the whole thing.
The problem is we don't have the money that the big companies, right? We don't have the money to as an industry, right? Especially locally, we don't have the money. So we have to go out on the bus and talk to people. We have to sit in their kitchens and go to their houses and talk to them face to face and answer their questions and demystify the crop, right? It's so there's so much misinformation, right? Intentionally so from the DuPonts and the so you have to. I feel we have to go out and talk to them face to face. That's the only way we can't find multi-million-dollar campaigns,
And you said something I hadn't heard before. You need to have the processing plant within a 100-mile radius of where it's harvested, and why is that?
Well, it costs too much to ship if you harvest it. It costs too much to ship.
To ship it.
So why not have the processing right there? So that'll give you more dollars for the farmer.
Because there's so much biomass, because like you can utilize the entire.
It has 80% more biomass than corn, so it's heavier. It's heavier. It has more cellulose.
So when it's first harvested, it's heavier.
It's very heavy. So that's why the transportation costs outside of a couple 100-mile radius is cost prohibitive.
But if you
process it you can process it in a lightweight fiber, but you're deshelling it, you're de-stalking it. You're taking different pieces of the plant. So the composite, that BMW thing is lightweight, but the stock that it came from, the herd,
So-
the plant is heavy.
What country is producing the most hemp and getting the most out of the crop itself in terms
China.
of all the China?
China.
And
Canada.
these plants, these processing plants, they'll do everything from A to Z with the plant, or they just
Depends
do
on
one
what they're
thing
doing.
specifically?
So for a textile, you need 7 different plants, essentially. So China has 7 different plants that do the different, for textiles, right? For fiber and textiles. For seed and CBD, you can have 1 plant to do it.
So is that why our textiles that are made of hemp are so expensive? Because they're being shipped from overseas, most of them? Okay. So if we were doing
And
it
it's a better
locally-
fiber. I mean, it's gonna last longer, it's warmer, it's antimicrobial, it's just a better product, right? So it's a better product than cotton.
You know, there's a saying you don't, in normal clothes, you wear them out. In hemp, you wear them in. You wear in your fabrics.
Over
Yeah.
time, they get
Yeah,
softer.
over time.
So is it pretty profitable in China right now?
I mean, it's a huge industry. I mean, really, all the hemp, almost every single hemp textile we're getting comes from China.
So they're exporting it more than actually?
Yeah, they don't really use. In fact, they import American CBD and American pharmaceutical products, American dietary supplements from the U.S. and from the EU, because the stuff there, because it picks up all the stuff in the soil, and it's so polluted in China.
Yeah.
You're getting, like, they were sending over CBD from China. It had barium and arsenic and mercury, and then
That's
these little
because
kids
it's a
were-
natural filter.
yeah, it just sucks all that stuff up, right?
Yeah,
So
wow.
we're trying to get the EPA to use it in Colorado for the spills. They're doing it in Tennessee. They put it on top of old copper mines to like remediate the soil and hold the soil into the mountain. It'll seed itself because it's had to survive for so long, right? I mean, the farmers in Iowa would spray Roundup on it, and it still was kicking.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Where
pretty
did
impressive plant.
hemp where is it indigenous to? Like where did it first start growing? And then you have to go.
Europeans brought it over with them on the boat. So Plymouth, they brought over in the boats. It was here. Indian hemp, American Indian hemp, was already here.
China as early as like 10,000 BC.
Yeah,
Like,
China.
there's like
And what were
ancient
they using it for?
textiles.
Textile.
There's like ancient like fossils with like the textiles, and then paper was like later discovered, and that spread. But paper was one of the like greatest inventions from the Chinese, hemp paper. So.
I mean, the Egyptians fed it to the slaves that built the pyramids. The ropes that that allowed them to build the pyramids were hemp rope. I mean, hemp was all across the Nile.
The movement from the yellow journalism and all that didn't happen anywhere else except for in the United States.
Right. And then once the
So it's
U.S. made it
only been-
illegal, we got to the United Nations to make all the other countries and told them, if you grow cannabis, we're going to not give you any money, right? Or not protect you or not defend you. So we essentially forced the rest of the world into criminalizing this plant, and now everywhere else except for the U.S.
So
and
that's so
Papua
we
New
could
Guinea.
sell them plastics, basically.
I mean, it literally shut down the natural fiber industry
And
for
nylon.
70 years, 60 years.
Environmental.
China's been doing it for a while. Canada's been doing it since like mid-90s.
So this was a global campaign to eradicate hemp as a product. And the U.S. went through the UN to get people to basically threaten countries. So they fell in line.
The UN is reassessing that. April 19th and 20th of this year, they're reassessing their entire gun policy. Because people are realizing it's insane. It's idiotic. We're poisoning ourselves with petrochemicals when we've had the product, we've had the technology
Well, you
for
think of the obvious.
thousands of years.
You think of the obvious parts of the environment.
So you don't. I mean,
Kids are talking about, fossil
you
fuels,
wouldn't need
but if you dig
the petrochemical industry. I mean, literally, hemp could do almost everything that petrochemicals can do.
And I think
It's a and that's and from a selling standpoint, people are like, that just sounds like
No,
snake oil can do everything, but it,
No,
it
but
really can't.
that is just, I mean, that is one huge fight, man.
Oh, it's
The haves right now are gonna,
and make it
I mean,
sustainable.
they've been ballistic about it. I mean, they're trying to keep it shuttered and keep it hidden
I mean,
away.
we've gone through 7 banks. Our hemp company's gone through 7 banks that shut us down. PayPal shut us down. It's just, it's insane the number of obstacles that are in front of it. It's insane. But it's such a valuable crop. I don't see any other way to go about it than to do exactly this. Like, it has to be done.
Rhode Island, independent man, Roger Williams,
Yep.
Right.
the
And that
Narragansett
flag at your
Indian.
capital was made of hemp. I was
The
like,
flag,
that's
I
insane.
think this could be the eastern spur. not only the global economy, but the global warming and climate. And,
We're cutting down the trees
yeah.
and for these factory farms and growing corn that this cattle aren't supposed to be eating in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Higher education.
They say 1 acre of hemp is equivalent to 4 to 5 acres of trees annually,
Yeah,
as far as the production, from what you get from trees versus what you get from hemp. Building materials, paper, pulp.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fantastic.
You build a hemp house and it's going to take CO2 out of the air because it'll suck that out.
And if you break a wall down, right, you can just repack the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, if semi-tractor drives through the front, you know, you can rebuild that wall rather than have to tear everything down. You know what I mean? Like it's very easy to work with.
Yeah.
In Canada, they don't need the wood burning stove to keep the house warm. It's that thermal insulated. And you don't need 7 like you need. You know, you still have the drywall, the insulation, the drywall, the Tyvek wraparound. You need like 6 or 7 items. Yep, exactly. And you only need your structure and then the wall, and then the hemp wall. You only need 2 items for hemp. For hempcrete, hemp building materials.
And then what they do is out of the hempcrete, they have a fine, just like a plaster, and it looks like a stucco house.
Yeah.
And they put that on there.
Yeah, and even people in the.
And you could put that on the outside and on the inside. And there you have your house. And it's 9 inches to 24, 30 inches if you want big walls, and that's gonna
Width.
yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Rick last night, I saw a thing on using hay bales and stuccoing hay bales after you put chicken wire on the exterior and interior, and basically plaster the inside so it's a little more finished, and stucco the outside. And the R values of, you know, bales of hay, which are what, 2 by 3 feet.
Yeah.
I built it with hay, and some problems that you run into is mold, and pests get in there and make nests, mice.
Sure, yeah.
That won't happen with hemp.
Yeah.
There's mold resistant, pest resistant.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Now, is that hempcrete?
Hempcrete, yeah.
Yeah, which requires a certain processing.
Water and lime. That's all you do. You mix it up, and you mix it up just like cement, but like opposed to cement, like you need to heat cement up.
Cement is the 2nd largest carbon creator in the world. There's something like 5 tons of concrete per
To make
person
dry
in the world.
cement.
It's horribly toxic for the
Because it's,
globe.
what is it? It's lime, it's stone, it's, what are the
You have to heat it
ingredients?
so
of concrete?
hot, and it requires so much energy to make. It's I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I know it's not good. It's the 2nd largest carbon creator.